Hi everybody, Rich Formidoni from Korg here with the Kross Music Workstation. One of the great things about Kross is how easily you can find sounds and then how easily you can combine them. If you're performing, sometimes you might need to create a split where two different sounds are on different halves of the keyboard, or a layer where two different sounds are played at the same time. Kross makes that super easy to do, so today I'm going to show you how to find sounds and combine them. To select a sound, first choose either program mode for individual sounds or combi mode. Combis are up to 16 different programs, layered, split, and velocity switched across the keys. That particular combi also had a drum track and an arpeggiator creating a bass line. I'm going to jump to program mode for the individual sounds. This dial right here is category. I can use this to select the type of sound that I want. So I can see the light spinning around there, indicating either strings, guitars, organs, bells, or in this case, electric piano. Now on the display, I see a list of sounds in the category that I've selected. So these are different electric piano sounds. If I use the select dial, I can then go through and choose sounds within that category that I've chosen. Now this very first one has a special little clue here. It says SW12 at the end of the title. That's referencing the two assignable switches that are just above the pitch bend and modulation wheels. If I push SW1, I get this. And here's SW2. So those are some useful nuances that are great for an electric piano. After you finish selecting a sound, push the Enter button to the right of the arrow keys. Splitting and layering sounds is easier on Kross than it's been on any other workstation keyboard. In fact, there are dedicated layer and split buttons right on the front panel, just to the right of the select and category dials. Here I've selected a grand piano sound in program mode. I'm going to push the layer button. The quick layer screen appears. Instantly, the piano is layered with a string, which is a very common instrument to layer with an acoustic piano. Here I can see the actual program that's being used, the legato strings 1. Using the category and select dials, I can change that sound to anything I want. So now I'm going through different categories. I'll go with synth pad, and I'll use the select dial to choose a specific pad. Once I've chosen one, I'll press the Enter button. By using the arrow keys, I can select different parameters for the layer. For example, by selecting volume and then turning the value dial just to the right of the display, I can adjust the volume of the pad sound in relation to the piano. Turn it back up a bit. I can also raise and lower the octave of the pad sound in relation to the piano. Once I've got the sound exactly where I like it, I'm going to push the right button, which is actually the menu button below the display. From this screen, it gives me the option to title the sound, and it actually gives me a title called Kross Grand plus the pad, so it creates a suitable title for the combi. Then, using the arrow keys, I can choose a category for the combi, and it'll use the category of the first instrument you selected. Then, you can choose an address to write to. Once you're ready to write the combi, press OK. Now your combi is saved and can be recalled later. You don't have to do anything additional to save it. The combi is already stored, so the next time you power on the Kross, it will be there. Next, I'm going to go back to program mode. Here's my grand piano again, and this time I'm going to press the split button. Now the quick split screen is displayed, and on the bottom half of the keyboard, I have an acoustic bass sound. On the top half is my acoustic piano. So again, a very common split, especially if you have to accompany yourself on a gig. Just like in layer mode, I can turn the category dial and select a different sound for the bottom half. So here, for example, is an organ. Once I find one I want, I press the Enter button. Again, using the arrow keys, I can go down and adjust different parameters. Here I can choose a split point. Once the split point is highlighted, I can press the Enter button. From here, all I have to do is press a key on the keyboard, and it will choose that as my split point. Press Enter again to confirm. Just below that, I can swap the positions of the lower and upper sound. So if I change this using the value dial, the piano is now on the bottom half, and the organ is on the top. I can also adjust the octave and volume settings of the split sound just like you could in layer mode. Note that these will adjust the organ and not the piano, so this volume will be the organ sound in relation to the piano. And same thing with the octave setting. I can also choose whether or not I want to use the arpeggiator on the second sound I've selected. Once you're finished setting the split up the way you want, press the right button, again linked to the menu button below the display. Here you have the same options as when you were saving your layered sound. You can choose the name of the sound, and again there's one preset for you. Using the arrow keys and the value dial, I can then go and change the category of the sound, and then I can scroll down and choose an address. Once you're ready, press OK, which again is the menu button below the display. Pretty easy, right? Be sure and check out the Kross page on Korg.com for downloads, tips and tricks, and all kinds of other goodies. Thanks very much for watching.